Hi there, it's Benji on Benji 18 Noir. This is my review of Ricky Gervais's brand new latest comedy special, Mortality. Back on Boxing Day 2023, I reviewed Ricky Gervais's previous stand-up comedy special, Armageddon, and at the time it was my most viewed video that I'd ever made. That video is no longer up. So anyway, now over 2 years later, I'm reviewing Ricky Gervais' Mortality. Again, it was on Netflix. This premiered around about New Year's Day, whereas Ricky Gervais' Armageddon premiered on Christmas Day 2023. So I will give it a rating out of 10 at the end. I'll also say, if you haven't watched Ricky Gervais's legendary 2020 Golden Globes opening monologue when he presented it for the final time so far anyway, go and watch it. Go and watch his opening monologue to the 2020 Golden Globes, because one of the best bits of this show directly relates to that, and it won't mean anything if you haven't seen it. And it's great, and that's already nearly 6 years ago. I already liked him anyway, and it was just another fantastic thing that he's done, because he says whatever he wants. And anyway, you probably aren't watching me if you don't like Ricky Gervais anyway. What I mean by that is you're probably not watching this video if you don't like Ricky Gervais. So you may well have seen that clip from the Golden Globes. If you haven't, go and watch it. So this isn't as good as Armageddon, this show. It's an hour long. Armageddon was about an hour long. I actually personally prefer a longer set than that. I think like an hour or less is a bit stingy from a stand-up comedian, personally. It's my opinion. It's an hour long. He starts strong. There are very funny jokes throughout. I think the funniest bits of Armageddon were funnier. Armageddon ends with a monologue about free speech, which I agree with. He also talks about free speech in this. He makes a good point. I'm not going to spoil anything here. He makes a good point about a lot depends on when and where you're born. Now, I'm going to take out the when bit, because all of us were born in this, this period of time, this era. All of us alive right now were born in this era. So it's not, I don't go along with the when you're born. However, where you're born is key. You'll see that it's a bit more serious, that, but he does that. He puts more serious bits in. From what I've seen, he tends to keep them until the end of the show. This time it's not at the end of the show. He ends on jokes this time. Again, I'm not spoiling it. Towards the end, he talks about some behind the scenes, I think I see how he put it, or behind the curtain of the Golden Globes, about that legendary opening monologue that he did. And it's interesting and it's funny. It is funny, of course. It's a good set. I don't think it's as good as Armageddon. I personally think Ricky Gervais's sets from 2 decades ago now, there were several, at least 2 of those I prefer. I just prefer, I'm not saying I prefer him overall. I just prefer those 2, possibly 3, definitely 2 of those sets from 20 plus years ago. You know, the ones that people would buy on DVD. Probably not VHS at that point, maybe. I just preferred those. These are still good. I still look forward to them, and I watch them basically as soon as they come out. One of the only things I've watched on Netflix in a long time, to be honest with you. I don't watch very much on there because I don't like Netflix. However, at least they give the Ricky Gervais is on there, and he's not exactly PC. He's not exactly politically correct, is he? Now, I don't agree with everything Ricky Gervais says. Overall, and he does do his. I didn't know he's 64. I, for some reason, was thinking he's still in his late 50s, maybe about 60. So he's 64 now. And he says it. He's entered his grumpy old man phase. That I found a bit tedious. He sounds like a proper, full-on grumpy old man. Sort of. I don't find that very appealing. It's almost like a Jeremy Clarkson type thing. I've got nothing against Jeremy Clarkson either. I just don't find the miserable old rich man particularly appealing. Nothing to do with being rich. I'm certainly not against that. That's not my point there. It's just not appealing. or relatable, to be honest with you. So that I found that a bit boring, to be honest with you. But hey, I'm giving my review here. Yeah, it's good though, of course. You know, now for over 20 years, he's just been doing great stuff. I mean, when he was in Hollywood for a while, he actually wrote a movie called The Invention of Lying, and he starred in it. Now, it didn't do very well. And the American, that was back when I used to read shill critics. I mean, that movie came out, I think it was around about 2010, something like that, so years ago. And the critics didn't like it. I don't care. I don't give a shit about the shill critics. The hack shill critics. Back then, I would read those reviews. It's before I discovered, you know, reading actual people have actually paid to watch these films and TV shows and play these games and listen to this music, etc., rather than the hack shill critics. All right, fuck them. And before I certainly realised that I can also make my own reviews, whether writing them down or filming them. Yeah, The Invention of Lying is good. He gives an excellent performance in it. It's not a great movie, The Invention of Lying. It's not great. It's interesting. He gives a great performance. He's a very good actor. Now he's an atheist, Ricky Gervais, and that's what The Invention of Lying is about. That's not something I hold against him being an atheist, because in a way I'm pretty close to it myself. This is not the video to discuss that. Maybe I won't discuss it at all. No, I certainly don't hold him being an atheist against him. Like I say, I'm fairly close to that myself. I just don't go on about it. Because I don't label myself that, but I don't disagree with a lot of what he says, and I don't disagree with that part of The Invention of Lying. The Invention of Lying, it's not necessarily an hilarious movie. It's an interesting movie that didn't do well and got slated by the hack shill critics. Don't care. Obviously, he's in the original Office, the BBC Office. Yeah, the BBC did used to have decent shows on it a long time ago. That wasn't the only decent comedy on there. Decent comedies, anyway. That's it. Decent comedies, not for a very long time. And in fact, they cancelled comedies as well. I mean, they cancelled Little Britain, didn't they? They got rid of it. Hey, fuck, the BBC covered it. So yeah, what do I rate this show out of 10? I rate it 6. I could give it a 5. That's a bit stingy. You know what? Why am I going to rate this out of 10? I've been going backwards and forwards on this. I'm going to rate this Ricky Gervais Mortality a 5 out of 10. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. I'm very harsh with my ratings, because I give Armageddon a 6, and Armageddon's better than this. So this is a 5 out of 10. And by my very harsh standards, and by his very high standards, still good, still worth watching. I give it a 5. I didn't find the overall theme particularly interesting. It's as simple as that. Still funny, still worth watching. Ricky Gervais is still excellent. So, if you like the video, hit the like button and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, and when you do, ring the notification bell. Go back and watch my older content, what's left of it. This is Benji on Benji 18 Noir. See you later.